All right, look, for years, we have heard complaints that Democrats would rather keep the moral high ground than bring a knife to a Republican fistfight. Democrats have been insulted, they've been mocked, they've been questioned, things like, what are you going to do about it? They've been yelled at, often by their own voters, saying, do something. They have been told, and you've heard it, that Democrats are busy playing checkers, Republicans are playing chess. Or, of course, you've heard that old comparison to Republicans who are credited, for better or for worse, with being able to hold the party line, be united, even when it might be hypocritical or damaging to their own messaging or brand. Democrats have been accused of being complacent and reactive, always one political step behind, or so it seemed. Well, tonight, maybe the listening tours have broken through, at least on one topic, at least in one state, California. That's where Governor Gavin Newsom is calling an audible, launching the Democrats' biggest gamble yet to try to fight back against Trump. And he is doing it, well, through the art of the troll. I mean, take a look at this. And I want you to read it closely, okay? It's on your screen. It's highlighted for effect. It's from Gavin Newsom's office, promising a beautiful rally with other Democrats tomorrow to destroy Texas Governor Greg Abbott's, quote, totally rigged plan to redraw the political map. And yes, it's in all caps. And yes, there's lots of exclamation marks, even a declaration of Liberation Day. But the biggest threat? A blunt force campaign to flip control on Capitol Hill and take away Trump's majority. Now, stylistically, yes, you saw it, it is trolling. But underneath, substantively, the taunts are Newsom's plan to rewrite California's own map, to try to cancel the gains that Republicans would get in Texas.
Later this week, we're going to announce the campaign. Next week, the legislature is going to move this forward with 2/3. We're going to get it in a special election on November 4th, and we're going to fight fire with fire. We're going to neutralize whatever Abbott does next week or whenever they move forward the next special session.
Well, Newsom's warning is not just about his state of California. He wants other Democratic states to step up to the plate because he says this fight is spreading all across the nation.
Will also hopefully inspire some other states. There are many other democratically led states that can move forward, and we just cannot sit back passively. They're hardly done here. They're going to move. They're going to run the table on us. They're rigging this election in plain sight.
In Texas, the governor there, Governor Abbott, he is hearing this message loud and clear, and he is promising to raise those stakes.
If California tries to gerrymander 5 more districts, listen, Texas has the ability to eliminate 10 Democrats in our state. We can play that game more than they can because they have fewer Republican districts in their states.
And yep. Now call it a redistricting war. Call it a try to win at all costs. Call it a race to the bottom. Whatever it is you want to call it, here are the facts. We're about 446 days away from the midterm elections. And I know that seems like a long way away. It is not. That's perhaps why there is this new sense of urgency over how Democrats are going to try to confront Trump and Republicans. Now, Governor Newsom says that he's going to fight fire with fire. You've heard that phrase. But right now, we're not talking about just one blaze. The battle is stretching beyond district lines.
Democrats have a new strategy when it comes to taking on Donald Trump. They are fighting fire with fire. That includes California Governor Gavin Newsom, who's playing the part of the ultimate troll on social media as the Texas redistricting battle heats up. Newsom has been mimicking Trump's all-cap style, calling him names, hitting his poll numbers, and ending posts with Trump's signature phrase, "Thank you for your attention to this matter." This is kind of theater. I'm not really sure it'll work. What do you think?
Look, we have to take the fight to Donald Trump. And I mean, I would argue that we should focus like a laser on the issue of affordability, lower cost. And I saw polling from CNN recently indicating that Donald Trump's greatest vulnerability at the moment is inflation. He's underwater by 25 points. Since 2024, there's been a 34-point swing against him. So that's where our focus should be. And we should be adapting to the brave new world of alternative media. So I appreciate Gavin Newsom's strategy of taking the fight to Donald Trump. I support it.
Let me play Beto O'Rourke also kind of addressed this redistricting bit, and it's the way he did it that I think got a lot of people's attention.
We want California and New Jersey and Illinois and Maryland and every other state where the Democrats hold the governor's mansion, the assembly, and the state senate to redraw their congressional districts now, not wait for Texas to move first, to maximize Democratic Party advantage. Listen, you may say to yourself, well, those aren't the rules. There are no refs in this game. Fuck the rules. We are going to win whatever it takes. We're going to take this to them in every way that we can.
Ellie, I mean, is he right about the lack of referees? I think is really what the point that he's making.
So I think
anything goes.
Yeah, I think there's an interesting dilemma in the Democratic Party. I'm interested in what you both say. I mean, there's the attempt to out-Trump Trump, which we've seen from Gavin Newsom, we saw right there. And then there's the sort of laser focus that Representative Torres just put on the economy and real issues. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive, but I'm not sure which one works better for Democrats. I'm not sure which one will actually move the needle with voters.
I have the answer to that. I think the one that works better is the one that's authentic to the person delivering the message. And sometimes I watch people say this stuff and I cringe because it's just not who they are. They're not that person. And then sometimes I watch people say exactly what Beto O'Rourke just said, and I said, okay, well, you know what? That sounds to me like a guy who says this in private, so he probably can say this in public. And I think a lot of times you have a lot of politicians who are trying to be something that they're not. They're trying to troll Trump in a very Trumpy way, when they're not like Trump at all. And sometimes there are people who are very Trumpy, or at least have the capacity to troll very well, Gavin Newsom being one of them, or at least on Twitter. And it comes across as being authentic. And so I think, look, J.B. Pritzker is doing it well because J.B. Pritzker, I think, is being true to himself in the way he's delivering it. Others, whose names I don't really necessarily want to mention, are not doing it as well. They're more about peace and love, but sometimes try to pretend that they're all about being Trumpy, and they're not.
It's kind of interesting because I actually feel like Gavin Newsom kind of started this process trying to reach out to the other side, and now he's gone in really the other direction where he's taking on Trump more directly and Trumpism, and it wasn't working for him then, but it is kind of working for him now. I mean, the reach of his podcast, of all of this stuff has been amplified by this strategy.
He understands new media. I mean, we increasingly live in a world not of cable news or network news, but vertical videos, social media, and I feel like the message from Democrats from an earlier era is that you adapt to the brave new world of media or you become extinct.